All right, hello and welcome. If you're getting ready for the GCSE higher tier number paper, then you are in exactly the right place. Think of this session as us building your essential toolkit. We're going to cover every single core skill from N1 right through to N9. By the end of this, you'll have the methods and hopefully the confidence to really master these topics. So let's dive in.
Okay, so first things first, a quick question for you. Just have an honest think. Where are you on this scale right now when it comes to these core number topics? Are you feeling a bit shaky or are you absolutely solid? The whole point of this is to push you right up that scale towards solid, so you walk into that exam feeling ready for anything.
So here's what we've got on the agenda. We're going to start with the absolute fundamentals, the core skills, and the rules of calculation. Then we'll look at how we can deconstruct numbers. After that, we'll get into the really crucial higher tier stuff like powers and standard form. And then the grand finale. We're going to put it all together to solve a real exam-style problem. Okay, let's get into it. Section 1. You can't build a house without solid foundations, right? It's the same with maths. You can't solve those big, tricky problems if you haven't mastered the basics. This stuff is the concrete for everything else.
So, N1. This is all about knowing a number's true value. Could you, right now, take a negative fraction, a decimal, and a whole number, and just pop them on a number line in the right order without a second thought? It sounds simple, I know, but getting this mixed up under exam pressure is such an easy way to drop marks. It's all about being precise.
And N2 is your bread and butter, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. The key thing to remember here is you need to be fluent with all kinds of numbers, positives, negatives, fractions, the whole shebang. You've got to be quick and accurate, no hesitation.
All right, let's grab the next tool for our kit. If numbers are the building blocks, this part is like the instruction manual. You've got to follow the rules, and you've got to follow them in the right order.
You know what this is. It's BIDMAS, or maybe you learned it as BODMAS. It stands for brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And let me be clear, this isn't a friendly suggestion. It is the absolute law of maths. If you get the order wrong, you will get the wrong answer. Simple as. Okay, so let's walk through this example step by step. First up, B for brackets. We have to do what's inside them first. So 3 plus 2, that gives us 5. Next, I for indices. Now we can square that 5 to get 25. Then, notice how division comes before addition. So we do 100 divided by 25, which is 4. And the very last thing we do is the addition. 4 plus 7 gives us our answer, 11. Following that path is the only way to get it right.
All right, next section. Here, we're talking about breaking numbers down into their component parts to see what they're made of. It's like being a number detective, looking for clues hidden inside the numbers themselves.
So here are the key terms you need to know: primes, factors, multiples. But the most powerful tool here by far is prime factorization. That's breaking any number down into a unique code, kind of like its DNA, made only of prime numbers. So why is that so useful? Well, once you've done that, you can easily find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple, which are essential for tons of other problems.
N5 is all about one thing: being systematic. When a question asks how many possible combinations are there, you can't just guess. You need a system. And for that, the product rule for counting is going to be your new best friend. Basically, if you've got m ways of doing one thing, n ways of doing another, you just multiply them together. M times n.
And this little cafe example shows it perfectly. I mean, sure, you could sit there and list out every single possible meal combo, but what if there were 10 mains and 8 drinks? It would take forever. The product rule is the ultimate shortcut. You just multiply the number of options. 3 mains times 2 drinks gives us 6 unique combinations. It's just so much quicker and way less likely you'll miss one.
All right, let's step it up a gear. This is where we get into the stuff that's specifically for the higher tier. Pay close attention here. Nailing this is how you get those top grades.
So yeah, time to really focus in. The 2 skills we're about to cover, fractional indices and surds, are things you absolutely have to know inside and out if you're aiming for a grade 6, 7, 8, or 9. So what on earth is a fractional index? Well, it's actually just a really clever way to write a power and a root all in one go. Just remember this: the bottom number, the denominator, tells you the root you need to find, and the top number, the numerator, tells you the power you need to apply. So x to the power of a half is just the square root of x. Okay, let's see it in action with a classic exam question. We need to work out 27 to the power of 2/3.
Rule number 1. Always do the root first. That's the denominator, the number on the bottom. So the cube root of 27 is 3. Now we can apply the power, which is the numerator. 3 squared is 9. That's it. Just remember that process. Root, then power. Every single time.
Right, on to N8. Let's talk about surds. Don't let the word scare you. A surd is just a root that gives you a messy decimal, like the square root of 2. Now, when a question says calculate exactly, it's a giant flashing sign that says do not touch your calculator. It means you leave your answer in its perfect form, either with a pi in it or as a simplified surd.
So how do you actually simplify one? Let's take the square root of 12. Your mission is to find the biggest square number that's a factor of 12. Well, that's 4. So we can rewrite root 12 as the square root of 4 times 3. Now we can split that into 2 separate roots, root 4 times root 3. And because we all know the square root of 4 is just 2, our final simplified answer is 2 root 3.
Okay, moving on. This next tool in our kit is for dealing with the massive and the minuscule. It's for handling numbers that are ridiculously big or incredibly tiny. Just look at this number on the screen. That's the mass of the Earth in kilograms. Can you imagine being a scientist and having to scribble that down every single time? It's a nightmare. You're just asking to make a mistake by missing a 0.
So yeah, the question is obvious. There's gotta be a better way to write this, right?
And of course there is. It's called standard form. The rules are actually pretty simple. You rewrite the number so it's a value between 1 and 10, and then you multiply it by 10 to the power of however many places you had to move the decimal point. And just like that, the crazy number for the Earth's mass becomes this, a neat, tidy, and much more manageable 5.972 times 10 to the power 24. So much better.
All right, we're on the home stretch, final section. We've gathered all our tools. Now it's time to see how they work together to take apart a proper, meaty exam question. So here is our challenge. Now this might look a bit intimidating at first, but it's actually just a puzzle designed to check a bunch of the skills we've just talked about. Standard form, roots, and basic multiplication.
Right, let's break it down. Step 1. Thinking about BIDMAS, we've got to deal with that root first. So we calculate the square root of 144, which, if you know your square numbers, is just 12.
Okay, so our problem now looks like this. 4 times 10 to the power of 4, all multiplied by 12. Now, the smart way to do this is to group the number parts together. Let's multiply the 4 and the 12, which is, of course, 48.
Step 3. Let's bring back the power of 10. So now we have 48 times 10 to the power of 4. Now, careful. We're close, but this is a classic trap. This is not proper standard form.
And for the final step, we use our standard form rules. Remember, that first number has to be between 1 and 10, and 48 is too big. So we change 48 into 4.8. But because we made that part 10 times smaller, we have to balance it out by making the power of 10 1 bigger. So 10 to the 4th becomes 10 to the 5th. And there's our final answer, 4.8 times 10 to the 5.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. Now it's over to you. I'm leaving you with one final challenge. To get this right, you'll need to use your skills in simplifying surds from N8 and combine them with the rules of BIDMAS from N3. So pause here, grab a pen and paper, and really give this a go. Keep practicing, keep building that confidence. Thanks for joining me.